It is my great pleasure to invite the Governor-General of Canada, His Excellency, the Right Honourable David Johnston, to the podium. Please rise for the arrival of the Governor-General.
Thank you very much, Tiff. Thank you. After that introduction, I'm absolutely terrified. Knees are trembling. Well, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what a delight to join you for the opening of this important conference on machine learning in the intelligent market. And what a delight for me to be back home at the University of Toronto, where I spent 6 magnificent years just down the road at the law faculty. Let me begin by welcoming those of you who have traveled to Toronto from abroad and from across Canada for this special event. Bienvenue ici à Toronto, vous qui venez de l'étranger et des 4 coins du Canada pour participer à cette conférence sur l'intelligence artificielle. I just know that I'm looking out at a room full of big thinkers and visionaries right now. To quote President Kennedy, never has so much talent been assembled in one place since Thomas Jefferson dined alone. We truly do need creative minds and inspired groups of people to move us ahead in these transformative times. And as you well know, there are few spheres in which the transformation is of greater potential impact than in the realm of machine learning and artificial intelligence. But as Marshall McLuhan once said, again writing not very far from this spot, as he once said of the electronic age he foresaw, to bring order into this jangled sphere, man must find its center. So that's what you're here to do in regard to machine learning and intelligence. You're here to locate the opportunities and the challenges that attend this new frontier, to explore the societal implications and the commercial possibilities, to share insights and experiences and form networks, an appropriate metaphor when we think of neural connections, and form networks for success. This field has the potential to significantly impact our lives and societies. The arrival of machine intelligence has been compared to that of the Internet, but what we don't know is precisely where we are in the timeline. Is this period like the 1980s when the Internet was largely a tool of academics and specialists? Or is this the early 1990s when the Internet was about to explode into the mainstream and change everything? I remember 2 things about Internet in that particular period. I was chairing the Information Highway Advisory Council for the Government of Canada, and we did our first report in 1993, and the word Internet was hardly in that report. A very strange thing occurred. Mr. Chrétien was the Prime Minister, Mr. Manley was the Minister of Industry, and they actually embraced the report, and they charged us to go to about 13 different ministries to try to sell the recommendations. And to our great delight, 13 different ministries came on side. Bill Graham, where's Bill? Over there. Were you Minister of External Affairs then, Bill? Well, I think we were in your office persuading you, and you were a very easy person to persuade, you saw it like that. And then Mr. Chrétien invited the same group to come back and oversee the execution on these recommendations through 94, 95. Most unusual when a task force is asked to come back to monitor the progress. The progress is very good. But in that second report, which we finished in 95, the Internet was all over it. So in a very short period of time of 2 years, we had that transformation. And I often, in speaking to my students, measure that in a different way. The printing press, which changed Western Europe from being a backward civilization in the Middle Ages to surpass Islam, China, India, which were more advanced civilizations, took 300 years to reach a majority of the population in Europe, from about 1450 to 1750, 1800. Over 300 years to reach a majority of the population in Western Europe. The Internet from that period, about 94 on, took less than a decade to reach a majority of the population of the world. All of you know that, but it puts into context this great pace of change that is accelerating, if anything. So, is this the early 1990s when the Internet was about to explode into the mainstream and change everything? Well, we don't know yet. But what we do increasingly sense is that machine learning and artificial intelligence are likely to emerge reasonably soon, and when they do, we know the impact will be significant. So, what role can we play? And how do we maximize the opportunities of this new technology and minimize the challenges that arise? Well, these are questions that are rightly preoccupying those of you who are working in this field. And as many of you know, and I get a little excited when I speak about this, Canadians have been at the forefront of some exciting new developments in machine learning. A number of key breakthroughs have come out of Canadian universities and research institutions, and some of our top minds have been recruited by American high-tech companies to advance the effort. This is very exciting. Canada is helping to lead the way. And one of our challenges now is to find commercial applications for this exciting and quite possibly revolutionary technology. One advantage we all have in this is the fact that university-industry linkages are strong in this particular sphere. As we saw the development of semiconductors in the 1960s or biotechnology in the 1980s, the line between universities and industry is blurred when it comes to machine learning and artificial intelligence. I think blurred is not the proper word. It's meshed in the most attractive of possible ways. One prominent and very local example is, of course, Dr. Geoffrey Hinton, who now divides his time between the University of Toronto, his home for many, many years, and Google in Mountain View, California. Another example from south of the border would be Jan LeCun, who researches machine learning at both New York University and Facebook, who has been part of the group with Dr. Hinton. These cross appointments point to the complexity of the work to be done, as well as the way forward through collaboration and partnership. And that's why this particular gathering is very useful and important. As with previous technological revolutions, we must recognize and adapt to new realities. The challenges are many, but so are the opportunities, and I thank you for paying close attention to each. Have a wonderfully productive and enlightening conference. Bonne conférence. Merci.